I think we do. Man, this is crazy. We literally -2 Teferi and it keeps going up in loyalty. Like, what the hell is this card? You can see how insane Teferi is. This card is absolutely carrying the whole game so far. Hello everyone, it's Sloth here, and today, Teferi against the world. You will see the most powerful planeswalker just literally fighting against everything alone, and you will see how it ends. It will be fun, I promise. This was one of the coolest days on the arena since a while, and this is magic we all love, so this should be an amazing day on the arena. For the deck, it's Trickster with Starfall Invocation. The idea is that you can sweep at flash speed and then gift a card to your opponent and get the Trickster back, so it's basically invulnerable to your own sweepers, while Search protects it. But how it went, you have to see. This will be so much more fun. So guys, before we start, a huge thank you to our absolute legend for today, Adarkar. Thank you, man, for your support, and you wished more control and success with control. And you know what? It materialized in this video. This is exactly what we wanted, so I hope you will like it. This deck is for you, and I think it's a perfect fit, I hope. So really thank you, and let's go into the games and see this beast in action. Alright, we're going first, and no tome, huh? This is a rough hand, but with Fountainport maybe you can steal some extra value from somewhere, but we'll see. Cottage, definitely a nice target for the field. I usually don't want to show my coollands before I have to, because sometimes they might rely on this and try to make a game plan around having this, for example for planeswalkers or something. And you don't want to give that to them. I think we can Soul Partition whatever they will take. Another land, huh? Not great. Definitely not great. I think we'll take whatever they will ramp into. We could get the elves. As you can see, they have a tap land. Well, this makes killing Cottage way less reasonable, so I think we'll abandon this game plan. See, we changed the strategy based on seeing manas. If they play it a basic, I would kill the Cottage probably. Right, so they're going for the value game, which is nice. I'm a little bit scared of so much mana. Like, I didn't mind 1, but 2 is a little bit high, to be honest. And we want to keep the board clear for Teferi. So I think we go with the Trickster. But let's pretend it's Fountainport, so they also cannot attack here. So I think we'll go into Trickster and then play Teferi at instant speed, but we'll see how they tap. Obviously this seems to be a very mana-hungry deck if they play Elves without being like aggro, and they're doing cards with all the Dread Knights, so I think they're just going incredibly over the top. Maybe they even have Robbers, which would be scary. That's fine. That is fine. Will they play another? Oh, they're going with the elf. That's fine. I would love them to attack, by the way. Sometimes if you want to hide the lands that can block against elves, for example, nobody expects this card, so we can get free trade this way. But first let's go with the Trickster. That will make our turns a little bit more interesting. And let's go for the Painland because it gives all the mana, and we actually are a little bit starved on the colors. Because we didn't hit basic. We can get basic with Demolition Field, but we don't want to activate it yet, because there's so much pressure. I mean, why not? Listen, why not? Trickster is actually surprisingly good at killing your opponent. Like, yeah, it is close to stats to Sphinx, you know? The 4 mana 5/3 Sphinx with Hexproof. Like, this is nearly the same lethal. So yeah, sometimes you can just keep attacking. And so our idea is that we play Teferi after they tap out. They can go for 5 damage, it's fine. Sure. That's the cool part about having 20 life. You can literally make better plays by sacrificing your life. And that's why you get this meme of control on 1 life. Because the more life you sacrifice, usually the more room for better plays you have. And you only do it when it's necessary that you react. It's always better to react now than, early game. What about this card? This is probably an amazing counterspell target. They have still 4 mana. That also means we don't have Teferi. So if we draw a sweeper, Teferi is way better. Way better. But I think with this board we can try to survive a little bit longer. And we are drawing cards so we can cycle like the Verge, for example. I just don't want to lose Trickster right now. Because we had to cast it super, like, under all the mana, so we don't have a single point for search. So if I knew that this is the case, and this is the draw, I would make a different play, and it would be insane, because we would play Teferi, and then we would Starfall Invocation on empty Teferi board, and that would be a win. But unfortunately we drew it now. So let's get rid of this, and we go for Island, because it activates the Verge. And now we need to make a decision. We could clear this board, which is really nice. That sets up Teferi in the future. This is so much mana though. I think we take this extra hit, to be honest. I think the problem is we don't have enough. Right, we play the land. I need Demolition Field, and I need Demolition Field on the activated cottage, so I need to have 3 spare mana. That's the problem. We could try to go with Anchorage, in all honesty. Oh, they only attack with the Dread Knight, fearing the Anchorage. That's fine. Another 3 life invested. And let's see what the play is. They always test with this attack and then they make the real play. Yeah, I guess this will be the moment when we have to start for Invocation. Definitely Treasure Token. Like, we are actually constrained on mana to do our plays. Like, if we had 10 mana, the game would be close to over. Because we could just Teferi instantly. You know, this might be a good draw. So we are at 3, 5, 8 mana. We can get them cards. So they will get additional card. 25, and we can already try to go for Demolition Field. We have all the mana from the treasure anyway. Alright, I like this play a lot. We have open get lost. I guess the Painland had some upsides. If we want to get lost at the end step, then we don't need to sacrifice the treasure. And I'm not sure if we want to. We also got rid of all their mana. So we traded 1 for 4, but this card goes for 2. Like, this is, I guess it's infinite value in a way. So we still got a very good trade. Like, we got 3 normal cards for 1, and this is an extra. And we still removed it from the board. They are drawing cards because they are trying to go for the long game, which is nice. And Search will protect the Teferi, as long as we have mana to do it. Unholy Annex, huh? I mean, this is the card that probably cannot stay in the board. And alright. That's unfortunate. So the Painland was the better choice. The Tapper was right all along. We have to kill this. This is insanity. Like, this is so much value. And we are kinda fighting for the value here. And you know what? Let's go like this. Nope. So then we have all the cool colors open. And we need to plus so the cottage cannot kill it. You know, except them hitting a map. They can take the risk, play a land, they need perfectly land into non-land on top. So this is the combination, the only combination that kills Teferi. And it won't work on the next turn, so they need to take this chance right now. If they miss, I think the game is not over, but it's heavily in our way. Alright, they didn't take the risk, love it. This also gives us the lockdown targets. They probably will use map tokens, I would guess. But the problem for them is that our deck generally has more power endgame. And if they're going for the endgame, generally it should be in our way, unless they have like huge head start. Alright, this card, if that's a land, they would play the Dread Knight, which actually would be perfect for us. Alright, weird that they didn't go for the map. Okay, and now we have Demolition Field untapped. As you see, every time you need value, this is just land from the top, so absolutely not perfect, but that's why we have Fountainports, Demolition Fields, Anchorages. That's why we have all the lands that do stuff. I didn't see Tear Asunder as well. And those draws are not amazing. Like, I'll be honest, this is probably as bad of a draw as it gets. Alright. We need to sweep this, that's for sure. And then we keep second lockdown for second Dread Knight. And I'm moving cursor around so nothing is highlighted, so you guys know the strategy, but they don't. We definitely go with the lockdown, but what is the tap? I need Demolition Field. I think one Fountainport can go. We go white mana and white mana. This is the tap. This opens the most possibilities. They have one mana. I think it's a cut down, right? They kept cut down to protect the Dread Knight from exile. But as you can see, it doesn't matter too much. At least we can use all the mana with this deck. Like, this deck is incredibly mana hungry, and now we can Search of Salvation if they go for like Bitter Triumph or Terra Sunder. If they go for the cottage, we can always make a token, or just Demolition Field the cottage, which is always a better play basically. The Frillback. Huh. Well, let's see how much green mana they pay from their one green mana. You want to destroy target permanent. Do I read it right? Permanent. Alright, let's see, let's see. Oh, this is very mean. They should never do it. They should never do it. Do it. Alright, so yeah, we protect our lockdowns because it's a good tempo play. They basically paid full turn to get this effect. And I mean, bro, you cannot target my stuff. We are a control player. Like, we have control. Don't try to control our control stuff, alright? And we can get the fish, which will make it a little bit easier for the future. Fish is so cool. It's the best fish of standard, like, hands down. We're down to 12, so we need to be careful. And Teferi needs to start doing something that is not a land or a lockdown. I appreciated the first lockdown, but not the next ones. Alright, our opponent is tanking on something, but everything has... Bro, I tell you, every time you are scrapping for value, just making those crazy 2-for-1 plays to get extra value, Shuffler is like, cool bro, like, here's your land. And you are like, oh, thank you, almighty Shuffler. We will still draw them, because if we do counter spells, that will... I tell you, man, every time you fight for value, this is this draw. Oh my god, like, I literally need to play the whole game out of lands. Oh my god, like, this is not why you get 4 extra cards, to get 4 extra lands and play them and pass the turn, you know? So what can we do here? To be fair, we could try to be aggressive, but I don't like the strategy at all. I think we literally need to play the game out of lands until Shuffler decides we are worthy of a draw that actually does something. If you can counter their big play, alright, you got it. They know about this, but they still went for it. By the way, this was the 1 mana, they didn't go for the Dread Knight. I think they had it from a long time before. I expect that they know. I tell you, man, this is literally 3 lands from the top in the most important turn of the game. Like, in this and the next turn, the game will probably be decided, and we are doing literally land after land after land. On the bright side, the more lands you draw, the less chance to draw another land you have in the future. Sure. And now we need to decide, do we care about the graveyard? We absolutely do not, which means we can tax them for extra mana, and that's super important. Because if they have this... Yeah, they don't like the Teferi, huh? They don't like the Teferi. Sure. This is very interesting, because when we kill this, they will get second mana and can go for the Proud. So I could go Fountainport and block it, but I think we can donate a bit of loyalty. So all we will do... I could double block this even. If I care. You know what? No, they have cut downs. If they have a cut down and I go for double Anchorage, it's such a disaster, I cannot risk it. And we still get the Fountainport token, so even with those draws, I think if Teferi survive, like, Teferi is insane at carrying games. Like, it will single-handedly win the game. They have like few turns to try to kill it, and then you take full control over the game. And the loyalty on this thing is is just abomination. Like, you never can kill it with just direct damage. You need a dedicated removal. I would love to hit my hexproof stuff. We still have another Search of Salvation. That would be insanely good card. Don't forget, we have the lockdown. Alright. So how do we go about it? I will go for the creature, even though treasure is a bit easier to use with the lockdown. Alright. Finally a card that does something. Alright, back up the Teferi. That's fine, that's fine. Alright, so what can we do? We could get rid of the Dread Knight, they're fully tapped right now. So I can draw card, play lockdown, and I think we have 5 mana. 5 mana means 1 fish. They can go with the cottage, but it's bad for them. I kinda like it. We also increased the loyalty on Teferi, and we... Oh, I'm sorry. No. We cannot attack because of the Dread Knight. Oh my god, we just needed 27 cards to hit any of our 4 Mazemind Tomes. Alright, but that's good, But we want to prepare with the lockdown, so let's start with this right now. And this is interesting, we could actually go Tome right now. What is the other play? You know what? Making fish is impactful. Alright, because of Fountainport and Anchorage, I think we don't need it. Man, I tell you, just protect your Teferi, the savior of the Midnaria. And yeah, we need to roll with it. They can go for the cottage, but it actually doesn't kill Teferi because Teferi is so packed. Like, bro, this guy is at 10 loyalty, like, he's not taking any punches. And that's the problem with Teferi. If you ever played against Teferi, you know that it's basically impossible to kill this with damage because it life gains so much every turn. And this also shows you how many cards we draw in standard, like not even realizing it. Like you can draw cards with Fountainport, with Tome. They are going for this. Love it. Love it. This feels like absolute desperation. This is not a good play. I think we are getting ahead. And I cannot believe this after literally drawing 4 or 5 lands in a row. Now they only have 1 mana, which means we go for the fish to save 4 loyalty. And they don't have priority, which is super important. Yeah, I think it's worth it. It will make it easier to defend Teferi in the future, even though it doesn't make a difference right now. And with this, they have 1 mana. Elves. Sure, that's great, we have a sweeper for it. 38 cards. Important. I mean, those lands actually made... we are... In this deck you can use all the lands always. We could start make a creature. I think they are kinda low on options here. Nothing goes back. This way. Just making sure. And we have 7 mana. I think it's time. They cannot kill Teferi yet. And this also means that we can set up the Tome, which makes drawing cards easier. We can also... This is a token, you can draw cards with this and Fountainport. We keep the Jace. Even though Jace is not fully safe in our hand, they might have duress in the deck. I think it's worth the risk. Like, we don't want to get it in the board when we don't have full control. That is fine. How much mana? They can deal 4 damage, that is okay. Even though they can answer those cards and creatures for a while, they only have 3 cards. Like, they're on their last stand, basically. And we also get more stuff. Oh, I need to pay. Okay, we have the Tome. We need to show priority. It's super important that they don't know what we have. Sanctuary is a bit better long term, but a bit worse short term. Alright, that's fine. That is fine. And we'll make a decision at that as well. We have so much removal in this deck, so this will never threaten us. Where's my upkeep stop, bro? Like, I didn't care about it because the draw was good, but if we care, that would be such a difference. And I think... So we not on my watch this. We can take 2... Can we take 2 damage? Because they will kill it. I think we do. We bait... Man, this is crazy. We literally minus to Teferi and it keeps going up in loyalty. Like, what the hell is this card? And we need them to attack. This is interesting. We could go for the Jace already to amp the pressure. And I think this is good. We cannot mill them for a while, but we can lower the damage. And force them to get more reactions, because they already struggle against 1 Planeswalker. When they see the second one, it's really bad, guys. And unfortunately, we cannot survive this, so it's tempting to just let them, roll with it. But even on 3 power, like, if we're at 10, we don't have luxury to do stuff. Alright, they will activate the cottage, and they might hit our face with both. So we need 2 mana for Not on My Watch, 3 for Fountainport token, and we can still go for 3 for this. Alright? And even though they keep answering those tokens, look at the hand size. That's where the damage goes. It's not going. Yeah, we need to take this damage. This actually hurts a little bit. And I think we'll keep toming every turn because we need the life gain. And by the way, Teferi just still grows. We literally got back all the -2 loyalty that we used to make this token. Just for free, because we draw 1 card here and 1 here. And this is crazy. And this is the play that we expected. We will let them attack. I want them to be at 0 mana, exactly. So they think that even if we can block this, we lose the fish. However, that's not the case. And this is honestly really perfect. We get rid of the Archfiend, which is the problem, because it has flying and extreme stats. And now we go for the fish. And we will scry. Yep. Yes. Yes, please. Yes, please. And every time they basically donate 5 mana doing nothing. So that's why their turns are starting to be so lackluster. And we take it. Not a life gain, but close to. Because it gives us blockers. And they have only 1 card. Eternal Wanderer. The first creature. And this was where they might break. Because now they cannot even go through this board. And they need to do so much more. And I don't need... I might mill them. Because I still don't know if they have Robber in the deck. I don't think they have, but they might. And Robber is still extremely scary. But I think they will lose. Man, I cannot believe we drew 4 or 5 lands. We were so behind. And I tell you, this deck is simply stronger than theirs. This might be the Robbery. If they play it, it could be this. Okay, that's fine. So what are the creatures? We need to... probably Freelback. Maybe Glissa. So we need to probably draw those 2 cards. I think that's the play. It's unfortunate we won't life gain. How much mana they have? They cannot activate the cottage on this turn, so let's go. And don't forget, we get those creatures every turn. And we'll pump Teferi even... Man, Teferi is just drawing those cards like there's no tomorrow. And pumping. Oh, this has 3 power, and I absolutely knew about it. Bro, I knew about it so hard. Easy outplay, just completely intentional, just outplaying my opponent with my sheer knowledge of the game. I completely forgot that it pumps itself, so we can literally save it. I'm so happy I started with this token randomly instead of this token. And this is the... Oh no! You know what will... This is the most unlucky freeback of the universe. You probably want to hit my permanent, huh? Show me. Show me what is the permanent of your choice. Did they learn the lesson? And this feels so brutal. Like, this is not fair. This is not fair. I'm sorry, bro. Your freeback has been denied for the full game out of everything. And that's why we have those Surge of Salvation. It's basically 1 mana counter spell in many cases. And let's draw those cards, shall we? To pressure our opponent a little bit. A little bit. Alright. And I'll be honest with this, I think we have this game so hard. I cannot believe we managed to reverse all of this so hard, man. We go with the Archive, because it gives us better draw. Wow, I'm so happy I took this survey. By the way, thank you, Shaffer, for giving us literally every Teferi from the deck in 9 cards. This will get wonky. I'm fine with this. This is okay. Oh, so this is probably enchantments, right? But they don't have white. I think it might be an Esper deck. Let's go Soul Partition, because we actually want to get better value than just bouncing. Oh, interesting. Draws a card. Good value for them, honestly. But I mean, that means they have creatures, so let's go for it. We are getting drained out of cards very quickly, unfortunately. We go Anchorage, we set up Get Lost, we try to catch the creature when they activate the map token, but we'll see. We really want empty board when Teferi enters the board. Demonic Pact. I'm really happy I went with this Get Lost, man. Like, if not this. This could be a disaster already, but this is a very interesting deck. I think we go Verge into Teferi, we don't need the last land so quickly. I could try to fake something, So what do we get really? What do we get really? We get 2 damage, which doesn't matter, and map token. That matters very little. I think bluffing is more important than this, especially that they see Anchorage. They were tapped, so they know that we didn't feel removal, and we still didn't do anything. And I mean, they just roll with it. Like, alright, I see how it is. I see how it is. Well, if that was on the last turn, that would be so much better. Alright, let's go to Teferi. You need to do some crazy magic here. 2 ways. We can try to kill them, which won't work, or draw cards, which might work. Let's get to 5 loyalty so they cannot kill Teferi with the Pact. I think they will draw 2 cards. I think that's the best choice. Discarding doesn't make sense. Yep, good choice. Because they cannot kill anything, and discarding 2 when we have 4 doesn't hit the best cards. So I think they were thinking between discarding and the drawing is simply better. Alright, you know, those map tokens didn't hurt them. That's an interesting one. I don't really understand half of the deck, to be honest, yet. Because they definitely have the Magpie, or whatever it's called, or the Raven thing, so they can gift us the Pact. But why do they play this part of the deck? Not sure. Oh, because this is like a Storm Chaser's talent with a twist. Alright, so this is just addition, and this is the real deck. Alright. Alright. We can do some crazy magic here. So we can, you know, chunk their moment for the Fae. We don't have too many options here. I think we have to go for this. We could draw a card, but what are we hoping to hit? Like, Lockdown would be pretty amazing. Alright. I'm too greedy, man. I'm too greedy. Not the best draw, that's for sure. Alright, so now they will probably discard 2. I think those will be those 2 cards. Yep, here you go. And they have seen that we... Yep, they paid attention, so they know that either we decided it's not good for the game, or we have the second one. So that should give them a little bit of info. Reef, scary for Teferi. And let's see the removal. They probably have something, right? Okay, this hurts. This is a very annoying creature, but we have those lockdowns, and so far I don't see any enchantment remover, so I think when we get the lockdown we actually get incredible deal. This could be the card that we counter. They will attack with this. I mean, this is a very scary card. Let's try to draw some. We also might pump Teferi if it goes through, but I'm not sure if it will. They might have a counter spell here. Alright, good. Alright. Oh, I'm sorry, Trickster, there's too much pressure. Like, it's between this and Teferi, but Teferi might die, and we might need Teferi super late game to close the game after we just exchange all the blows and we have like 0 cards and nothing in the board. So this is only 3 damage. Teferi is very hard to kill like this. We don't have lockdowns, unfortunately, nor the other sweeper. Like, we didn't hit a single sweeper, and we have 7, I believe. We actually have 8, so it's even better. Alright. So they want to pump as much as possible, because they know that the Teferi is always an issue. And here we go. That's better. That's way better. And do we want to open with creature? No, we want to open with cards. As you can see, they don't have a way to remove it. This is very tempting, but it will be useful later. Oh, it's a shame we missed the land. That would be such a big difference. But we have to, right? We have to keep pressuring while also getting extra cards with Teferi. So a little bit unfortunate. If we had 1 mana more, we could, you know, do some crazy magic. Let's take 4 damage. Face! Really? Okay, this is something I did not expect. So how did they want to... Oh, they just bounce it. Alright, I like it. It's cool. It's very cool. But that also means they paid 4 mana for effect that will take place in the future. And we can Soul Partition it, so it gets a little bit better for us. You can see how insane Teferi is. This card is absolutely carrying the whole game so far. I should go first, because maybe I have 1 spare mana. That would mean I could play Archive, which is a little bit better. So what are the plays? Probably Soul Partitioning this, right? That has to be it. And then we know that they cannot deal with Planeswalkers right now. And I think we need to leverage it, especially with Final Showdown. Let's go with Jace. Because they actually have too little power to kill us. They need to use map tokens and Reef if they really want to answer any of the Planeswalkers. So they couldn't answer the first one, so we dropped the second one. Oh boy, I'm scared. I think there's high chance we'll lose this, but there's also decent chance we can recover. I think next 2 turns will decide. Because we are on the break point. We are taking control over this game, but we are not having it yet. Moment we sweep the board, get some counter spells and have untapped mana on empty board, that's where we get it. Alright, 3 new cards for 3 mana, pretty good deal. However, this also slowed them down. Unfortunately, they hit a land, so it's 1 less mana. They paid 6 for this. Well, this is expensive investment. And now they cannot kill any of the planes. I'll tell you, man. I think we're on the right track. Teferi, can you give me some more? Oh, can we draw enough cards? 10? Oh boy, I have to +1 probably. Because I could go and try to go for, you know, for -12. But first we draw a card. We won't be able to draw so many on this turn. It's probably the showdown. How much does it take? 6 mana. 3, 6. So we need to play untapped mana. No, we don't have anything here. And we need to plus this. You know what? This is important turn. I might activate the Anchorage into the Fae. There might be a world where we are going for this play, especially that our opponent seems to enjoy tapping out completely on every turn. They will probably draw cards. 4 damage, but to what? Do they really want to... I think they literally try to kill us with this. But they need so many demonic packs before that. If they go for Reef, that super taxes their mana, which means the Final Showdown can be a thing. Oh, now you care about the Teferi. Now you care. Well, you can see that they are feeling the pressure. Oh man, this game is under so much pressure. Okay, this helps. What is the card they are taking? Insight. Interesting, because they are playing against Jace. I think this is Lunar Insight, which means they also tap 3 mana. That's okay, as long as they tap, like, we have more value in this deck, I think. Even with Lunar Insight and Demonic Pact, which is kind of wild, by the way. Jace -3 is so important, like, you know, the +1 -3 on power, because they lose all the pressure on the board. They only have 3 mana right now. If they tap out, that's so good for us. Sure, like they have 11 cards or 10 cards in the hand. I don't think that's the problem. It's all about their mana right now. Sure. I wonder if they take it. Alright, so they want to pump it. We could solve the board right now. I mean, like, completely. This is interesting. Alright guys, do we go for it? That would make things so much easier for us. It's also pretty cheap, right? 3, 6. I think this might be the turn to do it. We need to answer Reefs, so it's not super, you know, over and easy, but it gives us a lot of breathing room. If we can get some good draws, that would be absolutely perfect. I don't think they have anything here, right? Oh, the discard! 3 lands, alright. Get Lost is amazing. And they literally cannot beat our Planeswalkers! Oh, this is the founding path, you know, founding of the third path, which means reanimation. It's a little bit funny that every time you see those colors, it's always founding of the third path reanimation deck. Like, there's literally 0% is anything different, which is sad for Zultai. So we still have some time, right? Right, I think we definitely overdo it. We drew all the tap lands from the whole deck, I think. Demolition Field lets us play the 4 mana turn. I don't think it's worth it. I think it's not worth it, basically, what I'm trying to say. We could get rid of this, so they can... I think we go Soul Partition on the next turn. Interesting. They definitely have a Traxa. And not only. Invasion of Arcavios, that would suggest Omniscience. Alright, I said it right. I think it might be Omniscience Reanimator. Yep, or both. Have you tried both? But to be fair, whenever you play this, you usually play Atraxa, because the only problem with this card is that you need to pay mana. If it's 0 mana, 7/7, that draws 7 cards, it's probably not a bad draw. Alright, I think we have to go like this. But first we draw. If we draw untapped land... What the hell is this draw? 4 Anchorages from the top? Like, guys, seriously, what the hell? What the hell is this? Oh man, this actually makes a huge problem for us. We have to go like this. They will probably pay 4 mana and go for chapter 2. But then we'll get an additional draw. And we have answers to enchantment. This deck is pretty good at dealing with enchantments, but of course you need to still draw it. You know, instead of Quadra Anchorage on 13 cards. Listen, we play those, but it doesn't mean we need to draw all of them in the start of the game. Alright, alright. What do they have? Basically everything. So they want to Screaming Emergence on the next turn, which means that I think we might even scry here. I think it's so important. If we draw a counter spell, the game might be over. But if we don't draw a counter spell... Oh boy, I really want those extra cards. We can kill Atraxa. The problem is that we won't beat the follow-up. We won't beat the cards that she draws. So what can we really do? If we get 3 steps ahead, I think we need to scry here, which pains my heart. Lockdown. I mean, this answers. It's not the card, I didn't even think about this, but you know what? It kinda does the job, and that's all I care about. Just the job. I'm sorry, Tom. You were great. I will hold you dear to my heart forever. Alright. Now we still have this, but we don't have the Fae. And to be fair, they don't need to pressure us so hard. So now they need to whiff a little bit. It is time for the whiffage, the legendary whiffage. And we can try to draw cards, because you know we ain't drawing anything from the top. Oh boy. Yeah, when this draw is crazy, we drew 4 Anchorages and 3 Archives. I think we drew literally all the tap lands from the whole deck, one after another, and nothing else. So we have to go for this. We can get the map token. This is honestly something. It's not great though. So I think we are trying to find a meaningful answers, even though we could draw it for free this turn. But not worth it. Their mana is solid, right? So there's no point in trying to hit it. Yeah. Let's go like this. We activate the Anchorage. We swing with Anchorage. And we try to get into some good cards. Of course they can block here. And we can even pump, which is nice. Maybe we can break through it on the next turn, it doesn't matter. And as you can see, we are still drawing lands and nothing more. Alright, I think those will decide, and honestly I think with those draws we lost. Like, we really need a single counter spell to prevent this kind of stuff happening. And as you can see, you whiffed. They already had basically second Screaming Emergence before we even do a first counter spell. And with that, they have Atraxa in the hand, right? This has to be Atraxa. Yep. With this, it's game. Alright, so what went wrong? We just didn't draw the right cards, and we got two flooded and 2 little counter spells. Alright, our opponent is going first. This is a very interesting hand. Not only we have Cardo, but we also have very quick interaction. So I'm feeling okay. On the draw you are never feeling great, but you are kinda feeling okay. So what is this? Dimir Midrange it should be. So for this reason, let's go with the Tome while they cannot counter it, because after this is in the board you already get insane value. We need to be careful of Masterminds. Well, normally I would absolutely hate my life for this one, but we thankfully have Get Lost and Soul Partition, so this is not as big of an issue as it could. But it still will be a bit of an issue. I think we can go with the Painland. We have good mana, and I will try to be greedy with the cards. Honestly, this is a perfect discard, right? Oh, I see how it is. Alright, so we cannot tap on this turn, right? Oh man, let's see how good opening they have. I assume they have literally everything on the same turn. We don't mind it super much, because lockdown is absolutely useless for this matchup. I think we can hit the doors, but nothing more than this. And we need to counter the reanimation spell right now, then go get lost. Every turn they are not doing stuff, we can start doing cards. And I will. They can reenact the crime, but they don't have mana for it yet. So they will be able to do it on the next turn. So I think what we will do is probably... I mean, if we Soul Partition, they have to replay it, but it's not worth it. I think we just get lost. Soul Partition is amazing against Reanimator, because you force them to pay 2 more mana instead of 3 less, like they want to do, or 5 less. So I think we just go get lost into negate. I should do it during their turn. That was a mistake. A little bit scary. So they countered it. We can get rid of Final Showdown and start do it again with Soul Partition while also drawing cards. We need to be careful about reenact the crime, so I'm not sure if we can draw with the Tome on this turn. Are you serious? Well, this is perfection for them. Oh boy, Negate is an amazing card that we really want. We could get rid of Liliana right now. That I think we want. Well, this is absolute, man. Normally this deck auto loses to any kind of control, but their duo is so insane. They basically got 3 extremely strong cards for the matchup and also set up their combo already. So this is as good as it will ever get. It's interesting they went for this play. So for 2 mana they cannot reanimate. That means we can tap out. That gives us better selection. Oh, this is a draw. They might duress us again, but it's not like they wouldn't. I think Final Showdown. We'll keep the land. I think one of the cards is reanimation spell, that's the problem. So I think we go Archive, and we'll Soul Partition right now at the upkeep. So it makes it harder for them. That was honestly my mistake still, because I should have waited. They had 3 open mana, there was no reason to do it on our turn, I just didn't pay attention. So, we will try to get them at the upkeep, before they can use anything. And let's go. They cannot replay Liliana, which will let us untap. And now we can draw a card.
I know when I'm not wanted.
Alright. You're not wanted, Liliana. At least not on my opponent's side, alright? And with this, we need... That's why it was so important to draw those extra cards. Teferi. The problem is that they might have... They might have a play. We could go with Trickster. Yeah, I really like the Trickster play, because I think it allows us to do some crazy stuff on the next turn. And they cannot replay Liliana. They got very good opening, but it's very hard to keep up with great follow-up. They already have their animation stuff. Man, this guy is a gamer. Let's go like this. I will draw 2 cards. That's unfortunate. This was our turn to get ahead, but our opponent just managed to hit everything so far. Oh boy, oh boy. I will try to keep this card for the future. We can get close, but it will be hard. We will have 3 permanents if we really have to. I think we have to go with the Teferi right now. Right? They might play a land into the Reef, so we probably want to plus. I think we have to go like this. We need to start getting some card advantage, because we used our answers already.
Here I am.
Demolition Field is nice, but not on this turn. We want to wait 1 more. Alright, we have Get Lost, we have Tome. They know about Negate, but they won't play around it. This is okay. This is actually okay. So 2 ways to go around it. They have only 1 card. I think we're winning this. I think we're winning. So we can get lost this instantly, or we draw better card. I want Demolition. I want all of those cards. Let's draw. We won't be able to target Valgavoth, so we need to prevent it. Alright. Honestly, this is a good card to discard. We definitely don't need to. 1 should be enough. Go for the fraud. Well, they might regret this choice very quickly. Alright. We go Demolition Field, so now their Reef strategy doesn't work. And we can... I think it's Get Lost. We could also go double Anchorage, which saves us a card. but lowers the tempo, it's not worth it. We go like this. Maybe I should draw, but I don't think it will make a difference. And do we go for a token and try to finish the game? I think we do. So we will -2 because we need to get them before they reanimate. I'll be honest, they had incredibly good draw in the opening and they still lost. So yeah, that's a good one. Alright guys, the video was pretty long, so we will try to cut on the outro, but there are a few things that I didn't mention. First things first, the High Fae Trickster with Starfall Invocation and Temporal Lockdown. That was, like, the whole strategy was not about Teferi originally, but around Trickster, but the games went completely different than I expected, and Teferi proved its might. And the idea is that this doesn't kill the Trickster, because it gets it back with just gifting a card and believe if you sweep during their combat phase, you are getting a good trade. And we can also hit lockdowns at flash speed, because basically it doesn't hit the Trickster because it's exactly 1 mana, okay, 2 mana above what this hits. So you can sweep your opponent's creatures way better than you kill the Trickster. And if they target it, you Search of Salvation. So that was basically a 5 mana play, Trickster into Salvation at the end step, and you play this when your opponent has 2 open mana at the end of the turn, because you know it will be 1 go for the throat. And then you have full turn, so on the next turn they answer the Trickster, and then you play Teferi in response, and suddenly they are left with a Planeswalker that they did not expect, and Teferi just takes over the game, as you have seen. So that was the idea. And by the way, Eternal Wanderer takes over the game even harder very often, because Teferi is more of a, you know, control Planeswalker, drawing you cards and giving you more control over the game, but Eternal Wanderer is just straight up smack their face and kill them, you know. And it also can exile artifacts like Forge, so you can reset the counters on this thing, which really helps against, you know, racing lethals and stuff like this. So guys, before we go further into the deck, a huge thank you to all of our patrons. As always, we keep them in mind and in our hearts for supporting the content. Really thank you guys for this, and I hope you like this kind of control. It went completely different than I expected, but I'm happy with the direction it went. And yeah, about this one, Search of Salvation was honestly the card that I enjoyed like the most. I thought this would be more about Trickster. In the end, it was more about Search of Salvation, because it is 1 mana counter spell against a lot of effects. So this is a very tricky play. Nobody expects it. Nobody plays around it. The only downside is that if they play something that is aimed at hitting Boros, auras, with this, you know, Shelter by Ghost, you know, Hexproof, they will also hit Search of Salvation. However, we don't play creatures except the Trickster, so on the Planeswalkers it still protects them from like Bitter Triumph, Terrasander, all the damage-based removal, this kind of stuff. However, Edict will get them. But that's why we have Soul Partition. You can also use Soul Partition to protect your stuff, which is a niche play, but sometimes it will win you the game. This also can be basically a counter spell. It's just more expensive because you need to replay the card, but on the fundamental level, it is like a counter spell. You trade card to protect one of your permanents, just at way worse tempo. So yeah, I think there was something more in this deck. What was more in the... Oh, the score. I knew I forgot about something. You have actually seen all of the games. So we went 3-1. The games with this deck are pretty long. Like, this is like 10 to 20 minutes of a game most of the time if you go into this supreme late game, and it's very fun. So I honestly had fun. We ranked up and everything went as I hoped. I didn't see mono red, I think, at all today, and maybe that's why it was such a great day. So yeah, here it is. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I absolutely love playing with this deck, so I hope it will be the same for you. Thank you for watching until the end. You are absolutely awesome, and yeah, that's it for today, and see you guys tomorrow.